Hello, my name is Joshua Fleming, and this is my persuasive speech for COMS 101. And this is my audience. I will be talking today about obesity and the health problems that inhibit us from having a right relationship with God. My thesis today is that God creates us to be healthy creatures in relationship with Him. My first point is that obesity inhibits physical interaction and thus inhibits a right relationship with God. God created us to have normal physical activity, and being obese inhibits this normal physical activity, which is what Wente brings up in her article called Society's Last Prejudice. Being obese also hinders us in that it leads to harmful and sometimes premature diseases that lead to premature mortality, which is what Berenson and Sorensen bring up in their article titled Physical and Emotional Inequalities with Obesity. The third point is that God created us to be harmoniously living in this world with a physical body that is balanced, and obesity throws off this balance. Lastly, to do with physical, those that are obese offer the society that they live in more of a responsibility to allow them to be obese. And this causes the society to have to supply them with things that they shouldn't need. The second thing that I want to bring up is the mental status of those who are obese. Sometimes people that are obese have a poor self-efficacy, and this is what Sharma talks about in her mental health and obesity talk in her article. Sometimes this actually leads to mental disease, and also people have wrong relationships with each other because they are obese and they can't seem to think of themselves as being one that is equal. Thirdly, being obese impedes our spirituality. The first thing I want to bring up is that sin is actually coming into play when we are dealing with obesity. Derendorf actually says in his study with linking religion to obesity that evangelicals and those that are in the church have actually a worse standing with obesity than people that are outside of the church. And we as Christians should be even more held to standards that are in the Bible, which we believe to be true, that obesity is wrong. It's actually a sin called gluttony in the Bible. To get to a point where we are obese, we have to continue to have this sinful attitude of gluttony where we just feed ourselves more than we should. And if we are to be the light of the world, to tell the world that what we believe is the truth, we are first and foremost housing God in our own bodies. And if we aren't careful, we seem to be saying that God is okay with being portrayed as one who is okay with obesity and a perversion of His creation. In conclusion, to be the light of the world, we must be held to the standards of excellence that are found in the Bible. If we do not, then we allow our God to be mocked. God also wants a correct self-image for us. He wants us to see ourselves as He sees us. And finally, to bring the gospel to the world, we have to be physically ready to go wherever it calls us to go. And if we are obese, this inhibits us to do so. My main point is to charge you with the news that you just heard. If you believe this to be true, then I charge you to go and do it. And while you are doing it, to encourage those who are around you to do so as well. Lastly, I show you these negatives of obesity to allow you to see that God created us to be healthy individuals, and that obesity, when you take away obesity, you lose the negative aspects of it, and we can have a right relationship with God in the physical, mental, and spiritual states. Thank you.